Hello everyone. Our subject today is treasure vases, treasure vases. And I would like to introduce everyone to those beautiful pieces of art, not because they are beautiful only, but because making them is an art. Why do we need a treasure vase? How to use a treasure vase? How to take advantage of a treasure vase? There are so many things that we can explore about them. Well, a treasure vase is a instrument that is going to increase some lucky factors in your home. Like, for example, there are 5 factors that throughout the year and throughout our lives they fluctuate. And we are talking about your life force, your health, your capacity of realization, we call it lung ta, your capacity of fending for yourself and your family, we call that wang tang, and the la, that is the protective energy. So the wang tang, our capacity of prosperity, of taking care of ourselves and our families, all of that is fluctuates throughout the year. And the treasure vase is like a big bulb of light, increasing that particular energy. In the interior of the treasure vases, we have many substances. We have corlos or chakras or wheels of mantras, like for example the wheel of mantra of Nujin, of the Yaksha, of Zambala, and of the Yakshini, Nurgyuma. I would say in Sanskrit, Vasudhara. We have the Korlo of the happy elephant. No, I'm not talking about rice. I'm talking about a particular chakra that has all the necessary mantras to bring auspiciousness in our life. We have the mantra of the wisdom deity. We have the image of the wisdom deity. We have some very special rocks, like for example crystal. Why crystal is important? Because crystal is the substance that brings here on earth the representation of the gods. What's the characteristic of the gods? Longevity. There are gods that were here before our universe, our planet formed. And after the sun becomes extinguished and all life perished in the earth and the galaxy and the universe, those gods are still going to be with us. So, the gods are the holders of longevity. We have the turquoise. Why is the turquoise important? Because the turquoise represents the human and the qualities of the human. What's the main quality of the humans? Well, it's very simple. You guys are probably watching this in your Macs, in your iPhones. Well, the quality of the humans is intelligence, craftness. And we also have the cowrie shell. Shells in general are related to the world of the Nagas. And what is the characteristic of the Nagas? Well, they hold a lot of wealth. So can you imagine this vase here being a projector in your house of intelligence, wealth, and longevity? But it's not just that, because the cowrie shell is also the support for the dakinis. And who are the dakinis? The dakinis are the root of activity, making things happen, make things work. And we also have the pabonlompo, also known as pyrite, especially here in United States. In, I think, Colorado, there's a lot of black pyrite. The pyrite in general, and in particular the black, is the holder of the energy of the Dharma protectors. You want to buy a beautiful tanka of a protector you are connected, like Ekadadi? Beautiful, do it. We have a great selection of tankas in our bookstore. You want to buy a beautiful image of Mahakala? Yes, we have a really nice Mani Nakpo. It's one of my favorite in our bookstore. But actually, all the elements you need to hold the energy of the protectors in your home are here through the pabonlompo. And finally, we get to grains. Grains from a place where this is full of grains, from a place where it's always growing. We are going to talk about growing just a second. But perhaps the most unusual element we have here are the prosperity pills. Those pills are, they have interdependence with all the oceans, all the great lakes, all the great waterfalls, soil, fertile soil from all over the world. Wherever Lama Tartun Rinpoche would go, he would get those elements. The 5 metals from all over the world. Precious stones like ruby and diamond, emeralds, water from blessed chumik, olho d'água, how do we say that in English? Springs. All of those elements that Lama Tartun spent years collecting from everywhere, jewels, like for example, I remember one time Rinpoche received someone gave to him a ring full of diamonds. Rinpoche said, "Oh, this came from a very old person who have a lot of kids. That's very good for the treasure vases. Let's file it." All of that has interdependence. So we put all those elements to make those prosperity balls, and they are painted in golden color, and all of those elements that I just described, they go inside of the treasure vases. But it's not just putting a bunch of things inside. That's where the art comes, because they need to be put in a very precise and particular way, so that the interdependence between those elements, they can come together. But that's not enough. They need to be charged. How do you charge it? Well, this is blessed by our lamas in very particular circumstances, with very particular people handling it during the process of consecration. And we had here in the last years in our summer retreat Very special ceremony for the treasure vases. And it's called the Tseyang Kachu. And we did, I think, 10 days perhaps of longevity and prosperity, hooking, what we call Yangguk and Seguk, and those energies they got stabilized in the treasure vases. So it's not just a matter of putting cool things inside. The process of consecration is actually quite complex in the sense of, yes, you could just get some rice and say Taishisho, right? Fine, there's nothing wrong about that. But when we have practitioners who actually do this practice, who have what we call mantra in under their breaths, like for example here in Pema Osel, Ling, we have a 3-year retreat where people, at least 2 of those 3 retreats, we had people doing specifically this practice. And yeah, I think 2, 3 retreats, and who did specifically this practice in particular. When we have the conditions of having our lamas of the category of Tuku Chigme Wandrak, Tuku Tadrau Rambuche, Tuku Jamyang, Lama Sonam, here together consecrating, this gains a lot of life, a lot of life. And that is the magic of the treasure vases. The interdependence of the elements plus the power of the blessings of this particular lineage. And we are so fortunate that we have in our tradition the practice of Orgin, Kandro, Norla, specifically for teaching us how to do this, how to consecrate it, and also the ceremony to avert the demons of poverty. I'm not going to say their names here, no necessity. But we do all of that to ensure that all the interdependence is perfect. Okay, that was an introduction to the treasure vases themselves. Now, how can we use that? Well, when you go into retreat, for example, you guys already saw our video about purvas, right? You want to do a Vajrayana retreat, you must have a kapala and a purva, and that is where the fun happens. The siddhis come between the interdependence of those elements in the shrine with you as a practitioner, right? So when you do Kandru Tuktik, you need a kapala with a melon, a mirror, and a crystal. That's where the interdependence happens. Well, if you do a prosperity retreat, this is the place where you are going to, this is the object you are going to use in your shrine to do the process of interdependence for the harvesting of the siddhis of prosperity. So this is a very important element for those who are doing retreat. Now you're going to ask, what's our motivation? I'm going to do prosperity retreat for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay, this is very beautiful, but we need to go a little deeper on that, and we are going to talk, and that's going to be the last part of our conversation today. Wait, we're going to get there. Now, we saw that the treasure vase is a support for those doing, for example, retreat, prosperity retreat practice. But for those who are not, who just want to have this, what would be the use of it? Well, um, abundance in our life, prosperity, it's part of one of the four activities, Buddha activities: pacification, um, increase, magnetizing, and what we call direct intervention, also known as wrathful activity. But we prefer to say direct intervention. This, the treasure vase, belongs to the category of increasing. Why? It is going to increase qualities, positive qualities. And what are those qualities that we are increasing? Xe, se, pau, and jor. Se comes from sunam, merit. It increases the accumulation of merit. It increases our potential of accomplishment. Let's say, for example, if you want to accomplish deity, it's interesting to have one of these because it's going to increase the merit potential for you to have experience and realization. For everything positive to happen in our life, it's necessary this positive potential. Sunam, merit. Second, Xe, actually the first, Xe, longevity. Do you want to attain enlightenment in this lifetime? The main thing you need to do is sit and practice. Anam Thupten Rinpoche used to say, perhaps the Buddhist flag should be a flag, you choose the color, but with a meditation cushion in the middle. Yes, that's the number one thing, sitting and practicing meditation. But we need to have longevity to use this life to its best potential. So we want to accomplish longevity. And one of the four factors here of increasing is longevity. We have interdependence for longevity with the treasure vases. And it's wonderful to have a excellent, precious human rebirth. But we need to sit and we need to go stay around in this earth for a long time to be able to go all the way to enlightenment. Okay, so Paul and Jor. Pal has to do with glory. Ooh, glory, reputation. Who doesn't want it, right? Okay. Just a second. When we talk about glory, increasing glory, we are talking about increasing positive qualities. The 6 paramitas in our life. So, no, it's not just about being smart and good looking. No. We're talking about wisdom qualities. Being able to put in good use generosity, discipline, don't want to say morality, discipline, moral discipline, now yes, effort, meditation, samadhi, and wisdom, transcendent knowledge. And finally, we have Jor. Yes, Jor has to do with prosperity. But for a Dharma practitioner, prosperity has much more to do with the abundance of experience and realization. Because we are not practicing to attain a very nice life in this lifetime. We are practicing for realization in this accomplishment in this lifetime, and if not in the bardo, if not perfect conditions for practice and enlightenment in our next lives. That's how we think. Now, the treasure vase helps us to realize all those four kinds of increasing. But it also has a characteristic of pacification. I will tell you why. How did we start doing this? Well, I think it was the 90s, and Lama Tarchi Rinpoche was very concerned. People came to him with concern about the situation of drought in California. And he said, well, there's something we can do to balance the elements, harmonize the elements. Let's do treasure vases. And as soon as we started the production of this, a lot of rain started, and California, for a while at least, was out of drought. And that was interpreted by Lama Tarchi Rinpoche as the interdependence between the treasure vases and the pacification of the relationships with the elements. Let's talk a little bit more about that. These vases, for example, one of the things that they can be used is as a Naga vase. No, this is not technically a Naga vase, but it has all the characteristics of a Naga vase. So, what are the Nagas? The Nagas are the beings that control the rain and the cycles of the seasons in a healthy way. But if they are not healthy, the cycles of nature and consequently the well-being of all beings in nature start to go in an unhealthy way. So we can bury those vases around great bodies of water, in the middle of great bodies of water, around springs, to bring back balance, to bring back healing to the Nagas. The reason why Nagas are associated with prosperity, it's because a prosperous land is a productive and healthy land. But we have been the champions since since the last centuries in destroying nature and breaking this balance. Well, those vases, they can help very much to bring back balance to nature and to the elements. I really like this one for Naga to put in a body of water or around the spring, and especially this one, mother of pearl, because as I said, conchas have to do with Nagas, but actually any of them will work very well. Now, they can also be put in a property. They can be, you dig and you bury in a property in order to bring prosperity and the best qualities and abundance to a property.